It's done. One of the biggest and most seismic deals of the summer 2026 window has got the here we go. The bomber has landed, and the knock-on effect, the butterfly effect of this deal could be massive. We are talking Yandi Amande, Vini Jr, Tchouaméni, Barcola, and more on the Done Deal show this morning. And for all the trolls and sausages, there's even a done deal on the Done Deal show as well. So hit that like button for us. Get yourself subscribing right now. If you haven't done it yet, it takes you 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button. The little bell next to it, get that hit as well. Really important to the platform. Do you know what, people? Let's jump. Very interesting report in relation to Real Madrid. And it spoke about how Madrid wants to quickly resolve the situation with Vinícius Jr. How Madrid want to get it resolved ASAP. They did say that Madrid wants to keep Vinícius Jr., but it isn't as simple as they want to keep him. Jose sees Mbappe as the player he wants out on the left-hand side, cutting in. Ideally would like a number 9 striker and sees Yandi Amande as his right-sided forward. So there is this element of Madrid want to keep Vini, but are not prepared to give him the salary that he's asking for. Vini wants first-team football and the salary he's demanding. There is a chance that they don't come to a resolution on this. And the overarching feeling was quite interesting because the bottom article you'll see from Felix Diaz says that Real Madrid want to quickly resolve the Vinícius Jr. situation, either a sale or a contract renewal. They do not want the saga to drag on. And this makes complete and utter perfect sense why they don't want the deal to drag on, because they're trying to land Rodri. City are currently heavily in negotiations for Boadi. Will Boadi happen now and stay if Rodri leaves? Will it happen now and be loaned back to Lille? These things all play a part in this. You've got Man United, who we'll move on to in a minute, looking at the Tchouaméni situation. There's lots of moving parts here. There's lots of moving parts, and the Premier League and La Liga is only 3 to 4 weeks away from starting. Yes, the window's open for 6 weeks, but the league starts soon. Fast starts are necessary for a lot of these teams. Now, when it comes to Arsenal, according to Dominic King of The Telegraph, Arsenal are prepared to offer Vinícius Jr. the biggest contract in the club's history. The forward currently earns over 400,000. Currently earns 400,000 a week, but Arsenal are understood to look to improve those terms, with finances understood to not be a barrier. Now, again, this is it's a shame I have to say this, but you've got to for the sausages. No one is guaranteeing that Arsenal land the player, but Arsenal are going big. Arsenal are willing to make a massive offer to Vinícius Jr. to convince him, to pay him, to compensate him for committing to Arsenal Football Club. And for me, that is highly significant. For me, that is a huge deal. For me, this is such one to watch, because I think there is a real chance. I still sit on the 20% marker. I still sit there. What I listened to today about where Jose wants to keep the player, but don't see that as the be-all and end-all. What's the role going to be? Somebody ahead of him? Are they going to give him the salary that he wants? Arsenal, they're putting on the charm offensive. It's seen as a viable option. There is an openness to it. Although Vinícius' first choice is to get the contract he wants and stay at Real Madrid. And this is just going to go one of two ways. He's going to get what he wants and Madrid are going to pay him. Or 3 ways really, or he's going to accept what they're offering now and stay, or he's going to leave. And I know I'm speaking basic terms here, but there's only 3 ways this goes. And right now, he's camp are saying they will not accept this deal. Madrid are saying they won't offer a better deal. Arsenal are saying we're here. So the idea there's no chance for Arsenal, I find to be ridiculous. I don't believe in this using clubs for contract nonsense. Clubs aren't that stupid. This is not a movie. This is not a conspiracy theory. They're not going to be able to pull the wool over 11 to 12 different entities' eyes that they're faking an interest. It wouldn't go down well. With that, shut up. We know you're not going to go there. We know you're not going to Arsenal. We know that you're using them. Madrid, they're not that stupid. They're just not. They're either going to give him the money he wants because they want him, or they're not going to do it. It's as simple as that. You know, this fantasy world that people live in is crazy. I remember when Rooney fell out with Fergie in sort of 2011 time when he was doing his new deal, and he asked Sir Alex, like, who are we looking to bring in before I sign this new deal, because we haven't really replaced Tevez or Ronaldo, and it all kicked off. And then the media did this whole thing about he was trying to sign for Man City. It was never as basic as that. It was never as, he's used, and then he got a new deal a few days later, and it was like, he used Man City to get a better deal at United. No, he didn't. He went to see Sir Alex and said, I love the deal. I love the contract offer. The money is fine. I'm just concerned that we're not going to bring in the right caliber of player to help us keep winning. Fergie went mental at him, saying, you don't question me. Contradicts, you would argue, what Fabrizio has said here, but I want to talk about both of them. Fabrizio says there will be a madness. Fabrizio is saying there will be new club-to-club contact. This in the know intel is claiming that the deal was already agreed. Now, when it comes to this in the know, I'm always someone that will refer to them. Not saying it's true, not saying I 100% believe it, but this summer, this individual has got a lot of stories right, and not just posting hundreds and hundreds of stories weeks and weeks in advance, hoping some of them come to fruition. I'm talking updating on Tonali deal with Tottenham 3 to 4 hours before Ornstein. This guy got the jump, I believe, on a couple of deals of that level. So I wanted to share it. Some people believe this deal is closing in. Others think it is still a fair way away from completion. But look, you guys can all have your say on that below. But what Fabrizio Romano, has also stated here is that new club-to-club talks are going to take place. I want to break this deal down and compartmentalize it, because there are some in the knows and there are some journalists out there that are now claiming this deal is verbally agreed, close to an agreement, will happen imminently. There are others like Fabrizio that are claiming that new club-to-club talks are going to take place. He's the number one priority. Personal terms have been agreed. And I'm paraphrasing what multiple journalists have said, not just Fabrizio. Personal terms are agreed. The deal is going to progress, etc., etc. And then you have some others, which a lot of the time are the Newcastle-based press that have gone from this deal will not happen, the club will not sell, down to last night, Luke Edwards updating and saying it's 50-50. The deal could happen. And I do feel a little sorry for the Newcastle supporters in this, because the press that they trust, the press that have access to their club, I believe, just continually pull the wool over their eyes, continually drag them a little bit. And they really drag them, rather than just being open and honest from the beginning, which would have been Newcastle don't want to sell. Newcastle are offering a new deal, but Newcastle are willing to sell at the right price. Instead, they have made this a frustrating, tiring, and laborious process when it needn't be. Arsenal have been doing their negotiations via an intermediary, which is so typical in transfers.
Arsenal are exploring a sensational deal to sign Real Madrid superstar Vinícius Jr. The Brazil ace, 26, has entered into the final year of his 400 grand a week contract at the Bernabeu, and the deal, with a deal not on the table for renewal, the Gunners Chiefs have approved the idea of signing the forward. Now, this was broken yesterday, and a lot of people have already done their reports on this yesterday. I was probably just too busy to go into it and do it with everything else that was going on for me personally. So I wanted to touch up on this and give my opinion on it, because when it's in the papers, when it's on the radio, when it's in the major media outlets, when it's online, when it's everywhere, you know that there's something in this. And the problem with it is, I did a video on Forever United TV, and I got shot down for even considering Man United going for Vinícius Jr. And I said, if Arsenal can go for Vinícius Jr., I said this actually last night, this was after the video that I originally did. I said, if Arsenal can go for Vinícius Jr., then United should go for Vinícius Jr. or could go for Vinícius Jr. And people were laughing it off. And people laughed at the video I did of United looking at Vini Jr. But this is far from an Arsenal signing. And this just goes to show that Arsenal are in a very, very comfortable squad position right now, an established squad, where they can go out and handpick players like this in their prime and bring them to the club. And that, I think, is key in all of this here to remember as well, that Arsenal can make this transfer happen. It is genuinely real. It is going to blow their wage structure completely out of the water it is going to definitely hit heights that they have never done before, because Vinícius Jr. apparently demanded £500,000 a week, or €500,000 a week wages at Real Madrid for his new deal, and a renewal bonus or something like that, a loyalty bonus. Oh my God, like seriously, this is absolutely crazy. And just reading into more of this, Arsenal would need to make him their highest paid player, and interest is thought to be at the early stage with no direct talks between the clubs. Boss Mikel Arteta wants to sign a left winger after missing out on Morgan Rogers to Chelsea, though any possibility of taking Vinícius Jr. And it goes on there to talk about everything that's happening, potentially with other clubs being interested in Vinícius Jr. In fact, let me go on to that, because it might actually talk about the fee that's actually being spoken about here as well. So, I'm just going to go across here to page 56. Bear with me a second on this. I'm trying to do this on the go here in the car. It's the first time I've actually done the paper round in the car like this. And I'm just going to get to the page where we get the extra story now. So, right, okay. So, it carries on to say, where is it? Any deal to take him to the Emirates this summer will hinge on his contract. Madrid still not made any breakthrough in negotiations over an extension. He's into the last 12 months before he becomes a free agent next summer. Can you imagine what the wages are going to be for Vinícius Jr. if he's a free agent, by the way? That's absolutely crazy, isn't it? Bukayo Saka's extension back in January made him Arsenal's top earner on $300,000 a week. That's just to break down exactly how much Vinícius Jr. is probably going to cost Arsenal. Some people will say that Vinícius Jr., why are they going for him when they've bought Tzolis already as well? Well, there is talk of, obviously, Martinelli potentially leaving. There's a lot being made of Andrea Berta in all of this, sporting director at Arsenal, wanting to make serious waves and make some serious noises about their signings and how powerful Arsenal are this summer as well. And I think with the signing, if they go out and sign the likes of, obviously, Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle and Vinícius Jr., that would be a massive statement as champions. That would automatically put them right at the top of the favourites list for winning the Premier League next season. 100%. That just makes that a definite for me anyway. There's no one getting near where Arsenal are at the moment. So yeah, Arsenal doubling down on their success from last season, and hopefully in their eyes, they're looking to try and obviously move on.